You guys, it is happening. And my water broke at like, I don't know, probably like 45 minutes ago. And now we are on our way to the hospital. Hey y'all, it's your girl Lala Shantae. I know that it's been a while, but I have a baby. And him is a brat. He's sleeping. So hopefully I don't wake him. But this is long overdue. It's been a month. He's officially 4 weeks. And I know that I owe you all a video. We were supposed to be doing weekly videos, but my water broke unexpectedly. We're gonna go over all of that in this video. All of it. I have some clips that I'm gonna share with you guys. Like, you are about to get it all, okay? So first and foremost, I know it's been a while, but if you are new here, hello, welcome. If you are returning, hey girl, hey. My guys too, shout out to y'all. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure you also hit that bell so you know when I do post new videos. I am going to try to get back on a routine, y'all. It is very hard though, being a new mom. Like, I'm trying to find that balance, but honey, I miss talking to y'all, and I have so much to say. I have so much to share. We got a lot to go over because first and foremost, like I said, labor came unexpectedly. I gotta tell y'all about how I'm adjusting being a mom. We gotta have updates about his health because y'all who've been here from the beginning know. And then on top of that, we still have to do the do's and don'ts of a pregnant woman. Like, what to say to us, what to not say to us, pregnant and postpartum, okay? So we have a lot to cover, y'all. And you know, I was trying to get all glammed up for y'all, but then he started whining, so I had to put him on me, and it was just, from there it was just kind of hard. So my makeup off, mind your business, okay? Mind your business. I ain't got no lashes on. I wasn't able to do nothing with my hair really, but it's cool. It's cool, you know? I'ma come to y'all how I come to y'all. So hang tight. All right. So the last time they checked, I am only 1 centimeter dilated. They have not checked though since like 5. It is 8:27. Contractions are coming a little, but they're not bad. Like, I can tolerate them. I've been on the ball. I've been trying to walk around, but I am tired and I'm about to try to take a nap. They gave me Jello, they gave me ice, they gave me apple juice. So I'm a happy camper. Yeah, this is not what I expected, but I'm okay with it right now. I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna try to keep y'all updated. It has been officially 12 hours, slow moving, and I'm gonna try to get some rest. So while the little munchkin is sleeping, y'all, so let's get into it. So water broke January 9th, right? I was in the kitchen picking up garbage, like trying to take out trash. I wasn't physically taking it out, but I was like pulling it out of the garbage and stuff for my boyfriend to take out. And then I was about to wash the dishes. and I'm on FaceTime with both of his godmoms. If you remember from a previous video, I mentioned that he has 2 godmoms. So, sorry, I don't know if y'all can hear that. My washer is going nuts and they have yet to come fix it. Anyways, so I was on FaceTime with both his godmoms, and I'm sitting there talking mess, complaining because, well, first and foremost, y'all, I was complaining because y'all know I got a housekeeper, right? And, or a cleaning lady. However, I don't know how she liked to be referenced, but anyways, you know, I have a cleaning lady. And, every time she comes and clean my kitchen, she always moves my mat from underneath my sink to by my stove. And I just be like, Amada, like, what are we trying to absorb by the stove? Like, I barely even use my stove. I use my air fryer for almost everything. So I'm like, we're not trying to absorb oil. Like, it needs to be by the sink, right? So I'm literally complaining about that at this moment, y'all. I'm complaining, telling my cousin and my aunt, you know, his godmoms, about like, dude, Amada keeps moving my mat. Like, it needs to be underneath the sink. Tell me why, as soon as I said it, y'all, my water broke. And guess where? I was by the sink because I was about to wash dishes. So if my mat was in the right place, hunty, it would have absorbed it. So let's just put it out there that first and foremost, when your water breaks, like, it's nothing how you see on TV. Like, it's not that dramatic. Granted, let me say this. I know everybody's experience is completely different. Some people, you know, when they water break, they be already having contractions, because contractions is technically what brings on the water breaking. In most cases, I still to this day don't really think that mine was brought on by contractions, because I really wasn't having any. Granted though, I have a really high pain tolerance, so when I did finally start feeling contractions, it was times that I didn't even know that I was having contractions, and they would be like, oh, that was a really big one, you didn't feel it. I didn't. So but I don't think it was that. I think it was because I was in the kitchen. I told you I was like pulling up the trash and all that, and stuff was falling on the floor, and I was picking it back up. So I was basically in the kitchen dropping it like it's hot. And as soon as I moved over to that sink, it just all came down. Like, it felt like I was peeing on myself. So my boyfriend had to take out the garbage, and he came back upstairs, and I'm like, babe, either I'm peeing on myself or my water broke. And the reason why I said that was because in reality, I was really about to step away from the sink anyway. I was about to walk to the bathroom because I felt like I had to pee. So at first I'm like, dang, did I have to pee that bad? But then it just would not stop. So I'm like, I look down because I remember people telling me like that when your water break, it's gonna be clear, so you're gonna know the difference from it being pee or not. So I looked down, and like, you know, he peeked over the counter or whatever, and he's like, it's clear. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, it's your water. So first and foremost, when that happens, y'all, it's don't be like a big gush and then just stop. It does not stop. You're going to continue to leak. Like, basically it continues to leak until, like, I guess the more the baby comes down, technically the baby would have plugged the little hole with his head. So anyway, y'all, I call the hospital, and I let them know, like, you know, my water broke. She's like, are you having any contractions? I'm like, honestly, no. So she's like, okay, well, you know, take a shower, go grab you something to eat light, because once you get here, you can't eat. I didn't grab nothing light. I definitely went to Wendy's and got a spicy chicken sandwich meal. So anyway, I did that. I took a shower though. I did my makeup. Didn't have my braids or nothing yet, because clearly didn't make it to that appointment. I was supposed to be induced on January 21st. This is January 9th. So I thought I had more than enough time, y'all. And I had just got over COVID. This was like 2 days after I was able to like leave the house from having COVID, y'all. And somebody told me that they was like, you gonna have him literally like right after you get better from COVID. And sure enough, it happened. So anyway, I had did my makeup, I put a wig on. I had put a wig on, like one, and I had put it up like in a little bun. it was doing a little razzle dazzle. I didn't do too much on my makeup. I, you know, just did a little razzle dazzle with that too. And the whole time I'm on FaceTime with his godmom still. And they just like, dude, like, you are so calm. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be like? So they like tried to record it, and I'm gonna enter like, I'll put in some of that footage, y'all. But honestly, when they were screen recording it, Brittany was screen recording it. When she emailed it to me, it didn't come with the sound, which was really weird to me. So I'll just put in like a little footage that I can. You will be able to hear like little clippets of like when I tell them, like, you know, that my water broke and stuff like that. And then I have some videos, of course, that I'm going to show you from when I was at the hospital, just so you can get a glimpse. I just want to put it out there though, y'all. I was in labor for 34 hours before we decided to just go ahead and do the C-section. Yep, I ended up having a C-section. C-sections, first and foremost, are not for the weak or the strong. And I've expressed to y'all that I want 3 kids. So I want 2 more. I still want them. But it's just kind of like that situation now where it's like, you know, of course I can have a, you know, still have a normal delivery. My doctor did say that most women can, like, more than likely opt into having another C-section just because they know already what their feeling is and how they, you know, the experience of it. I'm at a loss right now as to how or what I would do. Oh, baby. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, he's just been a little fuzzy. But yeah, I don't know what I would necessarily do, y'all, because this C-section, healing from it has been HELL, okay? I've had a setback already trying to do too much. So I'm getting better from my setback. It's only been 4 weeks, so I'm still not at my 6 weeks. And they say typically with a C-section, it takes about 8 weeks. But I have a friend that had one, and her son is a whole year, and she's saying that sometimes hers still bother her. So it's like, this is insane. She did, however, do my incision really well. It's like right on my line, so you would never be able to see it, like never. And it actually looks really good. I hated the smell of it while it was like healing. Ew, like in the drainage and stuff. And then I'm not consistent with wearing my they give you abdominal binder, like a surgical one. And at first I didn't know that I really had to wear it. Like they didn't specify. I feel like they didn't really like justify, like, oh, you have to wear this. So I'm thinking it was kind of like an optional thing. I wore it while I was all in the hospital. And once I got home, I kind of became a little light with wearing it. Like I was barely wearing it. And then that added to me having my setback. So, because the one they gave me at the hospital was also really huge. So I ended up ordering another one off Amazon, which I'm gonna tag that in the description of this video, that binder, just in case if anybody ever need it. I know I have like a couple mommies following me that probably still haven't had their babies, or if they did, they probably got that huge one from the hospital too. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in the description. And it's, like I said, it's a surgical thing too, so even if it's not from having a C-section, if you have lipo or any such, it's a good little binder to get. So I'm gonna put that in the description. But I ordered that one, and now I've been wearing it a little more, but I can say that he likes to be on me. And especially when I'm nursing or something, he does not like when I have that binder on. Like he likes to feel skin to skin. So that's where it's still like kind of tough. Honestly, I'm ready to just wear a regular waist trainer, but I don't know if I can yet. And the binder, though, I do sleep in it because when I'm laying down for like bed, it actually hurts a lot. Like, it's like, I can't explain it, y'all, but it still feels like organs are shifting around in my stomach, if that makes sense. So anyways, let's talk about, though, the C-section itself. So like I said, I was in labor for 34 hours, and I was not dilating. Like, they gave me 2 doses of Cytotec, I believe it's called, and that's because I was really trying to avoid Pitocin. And the reason why I was trying to avoid Pitocin is because I just heard negative stuff about it, I'll be honest, about how, you know, it kind of makes the contractions worse. And I also heard that most women that end up getting Pitocin ends up getting a C-section. And at this time, I was trying to avoid getting a C-section. So, anyways, it wasn't really working. I was having contractions. Like I said, I was barely feeling them. It got to a point where I finally did cave and they gave me the Pitocin. And when they gave me that, the contractions increased more. But they still weren't bothering me. So when I ended up getting the epidural, I ended up getting an epidural just in case, because I was like, well, you know, you gave me this Pitocin. You say take this amount of time to really kick in, or, you know, every hour it was supposed to, every hour the contraction was supposed to get worse. So, yeah, it was like every hour or so. And so I was like, let's just go ahead and just do the epidural now, because right now I'm able to take these contractions, because they were like, you know, monitoring the baby and my contractions on the little monitor. And they were like, it was showing I was having some really big contractions, even though I was barely feeling them. So I was like, okay, let me just get this now, so it, you know, it won't get to that point where I can feel them and then I can't sit still for this epidural, because that wouldn't be good. You have to sit still for it, and I already have scoliosis, so I knew it was also going to be hard for them to even find a appropriate place or way to insert it, which it did take a while. And they made my doula and my boyfriend leave out of the room before they gave me the epidural, which I thought it was a little weird, but at the same time I thought, like, okay, well, maybe this is common. Apparently that's not common, so I still kind of wanted to say, why did they make them leave? I don't know, y'all. But anyway, so during the C-section, y'all, okay, so basically, like I said, let me backtrack, sorry. I wasn't dilating. I only made it to 3 centimeters, like, and I was at 3 for hours, for like a long time, like a day. And I was so tired of them checking my cervix, and I was like, I'm over this. Of course, when they did the epidural, they had to put a catheter up, you know, inside of me. Nothing was really changing with my dilating. I was trying the peanut ball, all of this. Nothing was like improving the fact that, like, or making me dilate more. Let me say that. Nothing was making me dilate more. The medications that they had gave me prior, the Cytotec, that had softened my cervix. So my cervix was now at like 90% softened, and nothing was happening, y'all. Like, it was just, he just was not budging. He was in there living his best life. So I was over it, and I was just like, hey. Oh, Momo. I know. What's the matter? I don't really think you like being in here. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Mom life. No drama. Alright, so yeah, I was over it, and I was just like, look, you know, midnight was going to make the 11th, and the fact that my water had broke, you know, you really only have about 48 hours that they want to give you, because you're kind of open for infection, and they don't want situations to happen where, like, his heart rate would start to drop and all of that. So right now he was doing really good, and I'm like, you know, midnight will be the 11th. My friend Bray, her daughter was born on the 11th, and she was actually turning 11. So it was her golden birthday. And that was like my first baby, y'all, because Bria had her when we were seniors in high school, and I love Noelle still to this day. So I was just like, you know what, it's gonna be my first baby's birthday at midnight. Go ahead and take him at midnight so he can share her birthday. And she was like, okay, you know, we can do that. It's all up to you. And I was like, yep, come meet me at midnight. So girl, first of all, I was still in the hospital working, y'all. I was still like uploading lesson plans. I was still communicating with students. Like, I was doing the most. I was doing logos. I was editing websites, all of that, all in the hospital, y'all. So at midnight when they came, I'm like, okay, let me just finish sending this email. I was uploading assignments for my students. So let me just finish uploading this assignment. They took me in there. So they began to, like, you know, of course, prep me and so for the C-section. When they began the process or the procedure, he still wanted to come out the birth canal, y'all. So he was pretty much like, as they're trying to lift him up, he was basically like fighting them off, like not trying to come out, like he was pulling back basically, because he was still trying to come out the birth canal. So when they finally got him to come out, and I could feel that, by the way, I could feel a little of that because he was stuck. When they finally got him to just like settle down and come out, his head looks like a cone. Like, it was like a legit cone head, y'all, because he was still trying to like push his way down out the vag. Insane. But he was so beautiful. He was 8 pounds 12 ounces, 21.5 inches long. And that sounds big, but it's really not, y'all. Like, he is so tiny in person. Even now, he's today he got weighed and at 10 pounds 1 ounce, and he's still so freaking tiny. I just be like, dude, why are you still so tiny? Like, he barely has like a little belly. You know, normally used to that pot belly, that big belly on babies. He really don't have it. His legs are still kind of skinny, but I don't know where all this weight is. But he's so adorable, y'all, and he snores. So yeah, I do have hospital clips, so again, so I'm gonna insert those in so y'all can see some of it. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this video up, but they're gonna be in here some way, somehow, because y'all gotta see it. Like, y'all gotta see what I was what I was going through at this hospital for 34 hours. What's the song say? I can do this for hours. I could not do it for hours. And I pray my next one is so much easier than that. So much easier. So beyond that, what life has been like, I'm gonna get him settled, y'all. I'm gonna get him together. Oh, will we? Yeah, I'm gonna get him together, and then I'm gonna come back, because I gotta tell y'all, like, overall what our hospital experience was like, because he had ended up going to the NICU. I told y'all that he was going to have an MRI when he was born. They ended up doing it a little different than we thought. You remember I said in my one of my previous videos, I expressed to y'all that they were going to do the MRI after we were discharged from the hospital. It didn't happen that way. It ended up actually happening while we were at the hospital, like the next day. So I was able to have him the entire time, the entire first day he was in the room with me. And then that next morning they came and took him for the MRI, and I pretty much did not see, I mean, I got to see my baby, but after that I pretty much didn't get to see him again. Like, when they returned him from the MRI, first off, the MRI was so long, y'all, and I was annoyed, like, where is my baby? They said it was gonna take this amount of time. But when they returned with him, they were pretty much like, we just really bringing him to let you know that he has to go to the NICU. So I was boo-hooing, y'all. So I have to tell y'all about that experience, about why he went to the NICU, and why he went to the NICU, and pretty much how much time that we spent there, and just overall that whole experience. But I want to get him together first. I think I want to have that conversation with y'all a little more comfortable, without little buddy being strapped onto my belly, and without him whining here and there, I think he's like, "Mommy, I'm resting and you need to shut up." So I will be back and we are going to have this discussion full out. See y'all later. Okay. Hey guys. Welcome back. Okay, so where we left off at, y'all, I wanted to tell y'all about, like, you know, everything with why LJ ends up having to go to the NICU, and kind of like just overall about the whole experience. I gotta wrap this up. I know this is long overdue, but I have, because y'all waited a month for a video, I have a special treat for y'all at the end. So just thank me in the comments for your special treat at the end of this video. Okay, so let's dive in. So first and foremost, we spent almost a full week at the hospital altogether. I went in on January 9th because that's when my water broke, and we did not leave until January 9th was a Sunday. We didn't leave until the following Saturday. Originally, when he had to go to the NICU, they were like, they didn't know when he was going to leave. At the earliest, they were thinking that he was going to leave Monday, but I was going home regardless. Like, they were like, "We're gonna send you home on Friday. He'll be here till Monday." They were like, "You can sleep here in the NICU if you want. You can, you know, be here all you want, but you know, it's not that comfortable. It's like a couch and stuff." But I was gonna stay for sure. So anyway, the first day that we had him, which was he was born on Tuesday. So I said my water broke Sunday. He wasn't born until Tuesday. He was born at 1:09 in the morning. I don't know if I already shared that or not, that I told them to come take me at midnight because of my friend's daughter's birthday. I wanted him to be born on her birthday. Anyway, the first day he was with us the entire day. But you know, within 24 hours, they have to do like their little exam on the baby. And along with LJ, if you watched previous videos, which I hope you have by now, if not, please go back and watch my very first video. This is episode 1, the very first video. It was uploaded like 3 months ago. Please go watch that video because that is very important as to everything that I'm going to talk about right now, that, you know, why he was going through certain things. So for my people that have been here from day one or that already tuned in, you'll know that, like, my pregnancy was complicated overall. You know all the details. So with everything that was going on with him already in the womb, what they expected of him, I'll give you guys a little information for that if you haven't watched the video, is that overall they did not think that my baby was going to make it. Like, initially they told me to terminate him at 20 weeks, and they kind of felt like it was a possibility that when he come out the womb that he probably was not going to live long. But clearly that's not the case. You guys see he's here. So one moment. So after, when they did the 24-hour exam on him, first thing they uncovered was that he had jaundice, which is very common in African American babies. You know, I'm sure it happens in with other ethnicities and races and stuff as well, but it's really, really common with African American babies. With Black children, jaundice that's common. So he had jaundice, and it wasn't like a small case. He had it, like, it was bad, like, and I don't know if I'm gonna upload this picture or not, but his newborn picture, like, as soon as he came out and they had him on a scale, his fingernails were like so white. He was so light, and then his fingernails were like so pale and white, like, so you can kind of tell too on like his newborn pictures that he had it. So that was the first thing, and because it was so bad, they had to put him under that full light. So of course with that, he had to go to the NICU. Well, I ain't gonna say had to, maybe so, because it was the full machine. If it was just like the Billy blanket, a mild case, and they could have used that blanket, he could have stayed in the room with me. But the jaundice itself, he has to go to the NICU. Along with that, because of everything else that was going on, they did the MRI while we were still in the hospital versus waiting for us to get discharged. The things in the MRI, what they found and what they seen, it still was kind of going hand in hand with the little things that they seen while he was in the womb. So therefore, they wanted to do further examining. The examining that they wanted to do he needed to be in the NICU for that as well, because they wanted to basically attach monitors to his brain, like all over his head, to make sure that he was not having seizures already. I shared with you in a previous video that basically they think that he may have the possibility of having epilepsy, and that he's kind of going to be on that spectrum to have seizures. So they wanted to basically see if he was already having them, like, you know, right away. Did he come out the womb having seizures right away? Or was he having them in my belly even when I was feeling certain movements? They said, like, you know, and he could have been having like many, you know, little mini seizures in the womb. So first and foremost, I was pretty much crying at that, because y'all seen, well, y'all don't know if y'all seen yet. If anybody follow me on social media, and I have uploaded like little pictures of him, like his head and stuff. I haven't full out shown his face that much, but I've uploaded stuff where you see his hair. My baby has a head full of hair. And when they said they was attaching all this stuff all over his head, I was like, is he gonna rip out his hair? Like, and I know it's a bigger picture here, y'all, but I was worried. And she was like, honestly, yeah, it might rip it out a little. And I'm like, what? Like, because in my mind, I'm picturing, like, it's not about it ripping out some of the hair. It was the fact that they were talking about patches. And they were like, you know, but it grows back. Excuse me? Like, hair is very important in the Black community, okay? You know it is. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. But I feel like hair is important to us. And yeah, he a baby, but it's still important to us. Like, y'all, when I upload, all I've been really uploading is pictures that you can see his hair. And that be the like, even when I have show people his face, that be the first thing that people still say. Like, they be like, he cute and stuff, but they be like, oh my God, all that hair. So it is important to the Black community. And they were talking about, like, that it might leave patches. And I was like, oh my God. So I was freaking out. But I was like, okay, it's a bigger picture. We got to do it. So when they initially took him and put him in the NICU, they didn't do everything the first day. So they didn't hook up all the monitors and stuff. Well, they did, but it was like late at night. So I wasn't actually there when everything got hooked up to him. I spent most of that day in the NICU with him. After, of course, they, you know, checked me, make sure I was good. I pretty much left. It was times that I had to go back because I was due for like medication or, and when I missed, yeah. So first off, a C-section, I don't know if I said this already, but a C-section is not for the strong or the weak. And when he was in the NICU that first day, I pretty much stayed there all day in there with him. So therefore, I had missed all my medication times. I was on 3 different medications for pain, and I missed the time slot for all of them all day. So by the time I went to my room, like, first and foremost, I could barely walk still. So I had to get like pushed around, especially because the NICU and my room and stuff was a good distance. So they had to, like, you know, wheelchair me there and back every time because it was more than the distance I was supposed to be walking. But when I tell y'all I was in pain, like by the time I went to my room, like I could barely get in my bed. Like I was staying there about to cry. And I have a high pain tolerance, so you know it was crucial. So anyway, that first day he was in there, it wasn't too much going on with him yet. Like they just kind of laid everything out to me, told me what they wanted to monitor. The most monitors that was on him though that first day that he was in the NICU was just probably like, you know, checking like his pulse, his breathing, and his heart. Like, so it wasn't too much on him. Like they had a little couple things on his chest. Cool, whatever. So they set it up where I could see. They have this thing called angel eyes where you can kind of monitor your baby and see him on the camera. And the only time that you won't see him is just like if they're doing cares, which I can say this, they were obsessed with my baby. So it was a lot of times that I would try to look at him on the camera and he would not be in that bed, except for the day that they had him under the blue lights because they had to for jaundice. But after that, my baby was not in the bed ever. So if you talk about my baby being spoiled, I mean, I probably added to it when he got here, but he was already there. Like, they didn't want my baby to leave. Like, granted, I loved his main nurse, and we actually stayed in contact. Like, we got each other information, and she did not want my baby to leave. Like, the day that they found out that he was going to end up going home early, they were like, yeah, I ain't gonna say her name, but they was just like, he has to leave. And she was just like, she was like, I'm not a terrible person. Of course I want him to go home. But she definitely wanted my baby to stay because they were like, you know, they were like, we're used to getting small, really small children or babies. And they were like, he's a full baby because he was full term. So he wasn't like the average baby that they normally get in the NICU. Like, it's like a lot of really, really sick babies in there. And you got this one that, you know, it's not that much wrong with him. So they were like obsessed. And then they were like, you know, his hair, of course. They were like, he was so cute. So they just was always holding my baby. Like, it was times when I went down there and it'd be like several nurses in there. And it's like, why y'all all in here? So anyway, when they set me up with Angel Eyes though, the next morning I decided to get on Angel Eyes first because I was like, okay, let me try to do things the right way. Of course, before I could go to the NICU, they gotta my nurse and stuff had to come check me every day. They had to check my incisions and stuff like that, make sure that I'm healing properly, that everything's draining the way it's supposed to be. They got to do all that. Like, they had to check. I'm sure they got to do this when you have regular, like, have it a push out baby out too. They had to like check my pads, and it was just so much. So I let them come in and do that. Of course, for some of the medication I have to eat, so I ate first. But I was like, let me get on Angel Eyes and see what my baby is doing. I get on Angel Eyes, and I'm gonna upload this picture for show for y'all. I see him. I see this blue light on him, and I see his eyes covered, and I see these things all over his head, and I was like, what is that? So it was like all the like little brain things. And matter of fact, I don't even know if I got that picture I got once they took the brain things, once they took the brain monitors off. But yes, like I was crying. I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get down there. What is this? So anyway, there was watching that monitor too for his brain was scary because it's like you didn't know what was going on it. But somebody, like, just imagine somebody in the back in a room, just in a back room or something, just watching that all day. Like, that's their job. That's what it was. Like, legit, that was what their job was, to just watch that screen all day to see if he was having seizures. So they monitored that all day. Like, I'm sure they had to swap out shifts and all that, but somebody was always watching that monitor in another department somewhere else, probably not even in the same building. So anyway, I spent most of that day down there. Couldn't hold him a lot because he had to be under that light for most of the day. So he was under the light, and they also had him on vitamin D3 to kind of help with that jaundice. The more, when a baby has jaundice, the more that they urinate and boo-boo, it's kind of like helping push that out and, you know, getting their body normal. So basically I was only able to hold him during feeding times, and then it was like right away you had to put him back. Which I was a little upset, y'all, because they actually bathed my baby first. Like, I mean, aside from when they wash him down, you know, after that 12 hours of him being born, like, they did another one. Like, she washed my baby hair, and I was like, why couldn't I do that? And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to bother you. But so anyway, so the monitor for the brain, I told y'all, I ended up getting taken off because after 24 hours of him being on that monitor, they did not catch any type of seizures, any form of seizures. He was doing like little shaking stuff, and they thought that could have been seizures, but just by looking at it, they thought maybe. But nope, it was just normal, like, you know, newborn reflexes, him just getting used to being able to really move everything around because he was so tight in there. So for after 24 hours, they didn't, nothing seemed seizure-like. At this point in time, though, they were like, on Monday, we are going to do an ultrasound on his brain because they already did the MRI, and now they want to do an ultrasound on it. So I was still like annoyed that they had to wait till Monday. At this time the next day, my mom was there too. So, you know, we both in there because they allowed visitors to come to the NICU. I could pick 2 visitors. So I had signed up my mom and dad to be able to come visit the baby. And so my mom is there with me because it can only be 2 people in there at a time though. And there's like, it's like all these people coming in. I told y'all that he had like a team of doctors anyway. So it's like a whole bunch of people coming in the room. And they're like laying out all this stuff, telling me how like nothing was caught on that screen, but this is what they're worried about, blah, blah, blah. They want to do the ultrasound. They're telling me all this stuff. And, they're talking about the ultrasound a little. And that was it. And I'm telling him, like, you know, how I had already got alerts telling me how he had appointments in February. Mind you, he was born January 11th. I was already getting alerts to my phone early that morning telling me that he had several doctor appointments this month in February. And I'm like y'all didn't even talk to me. And I just seen all these notifications coming in telling me my baby has an appointment at the Dream Clinic. My baby has an appointment with Neuro. My baby. And I'm like, what is going on with him? Why is all these appointments coming up? All this and that. So they basically kind of going over all the information. During this time, my mom kind of like ignoring some of it. Not ignoring some of it, but she was getting annoyed at some of it, because aside from them, it was also like a physical therapist and occupational therapist in the room. And some of the stuff that they were saying, like, my mom, like, he like 3 days old, like, what do y'all want him to be doing? Because they were saying something about like something about with like his movement of his arms or something. And I don't know, were they talking about something with his head yet, like, or with his neck? I don't know. It was some off the wall stuff. And my mama like, you know, but at the same time, you know, I'm more calm. My mama like rah rah, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I told y'all, I hear things, I listen, I receive it, I just don't always accept it. So I'm calm because I already know in my mind what I accepted or not what you said. So I'll be like, chill. My mama be like, you know. So anyway, in the meantime, though, now all the doctors left except for the two therapists. But now they're talking to the nurse that I really liked. And it was kind of like a whispering going on. And my mom was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. They whispering, and, you know, my mama cuss like crazy. So she like, they whispering and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Ma, you know, just chill. And she was like, you too calm. So, yeah, I'm happy I'm here. So I'm like, okay, Ma. So long and behold, they end up whispering. They were whispering because they wanted to now surprise me and let me know that after they already came and talked to us about all this stuff, when they went back to the table and kind of got some more results, talked it out with everybody else, with all the other doctors and stuff, they agreed that he could go home tomorrow. So they was like, you know what, there's no reason to continue to keep him here. He's already been here, you know, for 3 days or whatever the case may be. So they was like, he can really go home with her on Saturday. So because at this point I was supposed to get discharged Friday, but they told me that I can technically stay an additional day if I wanted to. My insurance will cover another day. So I was like, well, let me just stay till Saturday and let's see what happens. So so they were like, you know, he can go home with you on Saturday, tomorrow. And I was like, what? They was like, yeah, and my nurse was like, surprise. She was like, it's a secret. That's why it's over there whispering. And I'm like, look at my mama about to get rah, about to snap on these people. And they coming to tell good news. So basically they were just kind of like, we'll wait on the ultrasound for February, because really they were going to do one Monday and then they wanted to do a repeat one in February, which would have been kind of how I told y'all he used to, when I was pregnant with him, I used to get ultrasounds every 4 weeks. So at first it was kind of like, rather be on that schedule. And they was like, you know what, we cool. Like, we haven't, you know, measured any seizures. They pretty much just came back in and kind of explained to me what to look for, and, you know, to know if he was ever having one, what's a spot. So they just kind of laid things out on that level. And I was like, I am ready to take my baby home, because I did not want to leave him there. Like, I just was like, I don't know what to do. I can't leave my baby here. So anyway, so they end up, his jaundice had levels were going down, because they was like, basically like, you know, we're going to check his jaundice levels in the morning. If they are, you know, lower, then for sure he can leave. So at this point, it was just, that was the one thing that might have been holding us up. So I was just like praying all that night, like, let his levels go down. So the next day they checked him in the morning. First and foremost, they finally did his circumcision. Oh, I said that they circumcised him. Okay. They so that morning they circumcised him, because this whole time that he was in the NICU, he wasn't circumcised yet, because other things were important. So they did that morning before I even got down there, thankfully. And then they had checked his levels, and they had went down more. So they were like, okay, they went down enough, but not all completely. So we're gonna send you home with the belly blanket, thankfully, because I know some people don't even get sent home with that. So I was happy that I was able to get sent home with that machine. And they were like, you know, pretty much just put it on him at nighttime when you lay him down to go to sleep, swaddle him, put it inside of the blanket with him, and then keep it on him all throughout the night. And then the next day you can have it off of him all day, but just continue to give him the vitamin D3. So that worked out very well. I was so happy to bring my baby home. And my boyfriend's mom, my mom in love, I call her, because we're not married yet. So my mom in love, she got here the same day that we got discharged. And she was here for 3 weeks, which was amazing. So anyway, we got home. They informed me also that I would have therapists coming to the house. So currently LJ has a physical therapist, a occupational therapist, and a speech therapist that comes to the house once a week. They've been coming since he's been born now, so we've seen them already. We've already seen them now for basically 4 times now, because he's 4 weeks. So it started right away. Like, there was no gaps. It started immediately. As soon as we got home, they started coming out. And that will continue. As of right now, it's going to continue for sure till March, and then they're going to decide if he's going to get passed on to like this other program. But whether he goes to the other program or not, he'll still have 3 specialists or 3 doctors, 3 therapists that come out. But I really wish it could be the 3 we already have coming. I don't want to switch to this other program and then get new people, because I actually really like all 3 of the therapists that he has now. Like, we've already been forming a relationship, you know? Yeah, I think most of the time I'm at home just talking to the baby. So when they come, I be just talking. so I, I'd rather keep them. So basically though, when they come out, it's just kind of like, just kind of checking where he is. He had a few moments where he was like doing like this shaking of his legs. Like, I'm talking like it was like vibrating, like it just was shaking crazy, and I was freaked out. But that was just like a regular tremor. And other than that, they kind of like checking like his head, his strength, how he holds on to stuff. Now they're starting to get into what is he observing now that he see more, because for a while they just see shadows and stuff, but now you can you can tell that he sees a lot more now. So they check his vision, his ears, like, is he hearing completely? Of course they do that check in the hospital when they're first born, their ears and eyes check, but they do it every time they come, like, so they'll kind of like make noises on one side of the ear, like if he turns, if he acknowledges that sound and all that. What else? A lot of tummy time. So we have to practice with him. So we have to do tummy time with him, but then they also do it too. And during their tummy time, like, they make us hold his legs together, because a lot of babies tend to, when you put them in the tummy, start moving like their legs as if they're trying to crawl or something or scoot. So you have to hold their legs together. So therefore they have no choice but to kind of use their arms like a push-up and kind of like strengthening the neck. So they do that a lot. She also does like this thing, almost like a trust fall with him, but he's not standing up, of course. Like, so it's like he's like in her arms, and she'll like, let's say she just like push him forward, and then she just drop him back. And it's kind of weird, John. The first time she did it, it kind of scared me. So it's basically like, I guess, to start catching like his reflexes, like how he responds to certain things. He is starting to have more reflexes. We noticed this week, like when you do certain stuff to him, he's like kind of like jumping, like what? So it's been interesting, definitely, to watch and observe. And I do like having them around. Some of the stuff, once again, I take, I receive it. I just don't accept it, some of it. Because some of it I feel like they force. Like, I remember one lady that I had talked to over the phone with the other program, which is why I declined them for the time being, is because she was asking me questions like about toys. Do he reach for toys? And I'm like, at this time he was like, was he 2 weeks or 3 weeks? He was like 3 weeks. He only 4 weeks, y'all. So either way, I was like, we haven't introduced him to toys yet. Like, am I supposed to? And I really think he was like 2.5 weeks. And she was just like, oh. And so basically, like, all the questions she was asking me, it was to assess him in some type of way. And of course, her assessing me, it was terrible because a lot of the questions she was asking him, like, he's only 2 weeks, ma'am. Like, I haven't put a toy in his face yet. I haven't, you know, she was asking about, do he, yeah, he was 2 weeks, because at this time, that's 2 weeks, they still really looking at shadows. So she had also asked something about with his vision too. And I'm like, he can't even, she asked, can he see like 10 feet or something away, or something like that. It was some distance, I can't remember. And I'm like, well, he can only see shadows right now. So I was like, so I don't know. The day that he started being able to see, it was like, it was evident, it was obvious, like his eyes was wide, and he just like as soon as I walked in the room and I was talking, he just looked dead at me, and I was like, you can see me? And he just, like, that whole day, he just stared at me. Like, I was feeding him, he just was staring at me. And I was like, dude can see. So anyway, yeah, the question she was asking me, though, it wasn't for 2 weeks. And I was like, you know what, at this point in time, and she was honest. She was like, I'll be honest with you. She was like, I just started this job. She's like, so I'm not, she's like, I'm just, you know, going by the questions or whatever. Like, she just didn't know how everything worked. Because right away she did say, she was like, well, he's really young. And I was like, well, it's called birth to 3, so I'm confused. And she was like, then when she started asking me the questions, I was like, okay, I see why you say he's really young, because he's not doing most of the stuff you're asking me. So anyway, I was like, this time I'm going to decline y'all. I'm going to keep with the therapist that we already have. If after March they feel like that, you know, we need to continue with therapy, then I will consult y'all again. Like, or, you know, I'm sure they'll pass me back to y'all. So we'll see. I'm hoping that maybe he can be done with all this. I'm hoping in March they just be like, okay, cool, you know, he's good, he's done. Some of the stuff with his brain, they won't be assessing until May, because some of it, you know, they gotta wait till he's a little further along. So some of the things right now, it's like you wouldn't know anyway, because he's a newborn. Like, you have to wait until he's like a little older. So at like 4 months, 6 months, it'd be certain stuff that baby should be doing. And then if he's not doing it, then we'll know that he's having some type of delays or you know, deficits that I talked about in previous videos. So I'm still in prayer, still hoping that no, he's okay, period. Other than that, I am, because I feel like this video already about to be long. Well, it's already long anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and still add in those clips. And I'm adding the clips. I told y'all I got a surprise for y'all at the end of this video. I hope I didn't miss nothing that I was supposed to talk about. The main thing is just overall talking about my labor and just how things have been with him, baby updates in my labor and delivery. Like, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead, upload the clips and the surprise for y'all at the end. I'm gonna tag some things in the description, and I'm gonna already start filming my next video, because it's going to be about postpartum. Pretty much I get questions all the time about like how postpartum has been, what it's like for me. So I'm gonna go in depth with y'all, and I asked social media if y'all wanted the easy answer or the real tough one, and everybody 100% voted for the tough answer. So I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you.
I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want.
I'm gonna give y'all the real deal what postpartum is like, okay? So I'm gonna start filming that video, but I'm gonna get this one edited, and I am going to try my best, y'all, to get back on my weekly schedule, because it's been a minute. But that's why I'm giving y'all a surprise at the end of this video, because y'all waited a whole month. It's been a month since I uploaded the video, so shout out to y'all. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna wrap this up. And once again, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and click that button. Be sure to hit that bell so you know when I do post new videos. If you are not on my social media, please go ahead and get there and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Same name. Yes, y'all, I be trying to post on TikTok now. Same name as the YouTube, Lala Shante, LaLashante, Lala Shante. Please go ahead and not only subscribe, but follow me on social media. If you got anything you want to say, please like and comment this video. And yeah, get ready for this real detailed postpartum one. Up next is coming to y'all. Okay, but enjoy y'all surprise. Enjoy the video clips that I upload within this video as well. And I will chat with you guys later.